Football's pulse has always been its working-class fans. Soon, those roars will be replaced by the quiet hum of a corporate suite. As the 2026 World Cup arrives in North America, we are watching the tournament being stripped away from the very people who gave it life. Organizers are overseeing a calculated gentrification process that prioritizes liquid wealth over the sport's historic cultural heritage. The 2026 World Cup has been re-engineered as a hyper-corporatized business model that leverages its monopoly over the sport to squeeze its most loyal supporters. The entry costs illustrate a massive extraction of wealth. In 2022, the baseline price for the World Cup final was $200. In 2026, that same seat starts at $4,185. High-end VIP packages are reaching even more extreme levels, with some suites now listed for $11.5 million. This chart compares the $7.5 billion revenue from 2022 to the record-breaking $11 billion target set for 2026. FIFA is adopting a dynamic pricing model, an American corporate practice that treats fans as captive consumers rather than stakeholders in a community. This focus on maximizing revenue shifts the identity of the tournament, stripping away its status as a global cultural good and reclassifying it as a luxury commodity. Reaching these financial goals required a structural overhaul. The tournament is expanding from 32 to 48 teams, creating a massive schedule of 104 matches. While organizers speak of global inclusion, the reality is the creation of 40 additional blocks of broadcast inventory. The match experience itself is being Americanized, with reports indicating the introduction of Super Bowl-style 25-minute halftime shows. These commercial breaks disrupt the physical recovery of the players and interfere with technical coaching adjustments that usually happen during the traditional 15-minute window. These format changes prioritize broadcast volume over sporting quality, converting 90 minutes of football into a protracted commercial spectacle. Even for those who can afford the tickets, the journey to the stadium is increasingly blocked by a complex set of political gatekeepers. Strict United States visa restrictions and travel bans have effectively excluded fans from 12 different nations, primarily across Africa and the Middle East. A heavy presence from border enforcement agencies creates a hostile atmosphere for international travelers, who risk arbitrary detention at the airport before the tournament even begins. The logistical friction is so severe that the Iranian national team moved their entire base camp to Tijuana, Mexico, just to avoid an extended stay on U.S. soil. These geopolitical barriers isolate the tournament, locking out the global south to ensure the World Cup remains a sanitized playground for the Western elite. This profiteering is deeply rooted in FIFA's history of corruption, a record that was exposed during the 2015 FBI investigation. Federal prosecutors uncovered a massive network of wire fraud and bribery originating inside the very buildings where U.S. host operations are being planned. Documents reveal officials accepted over $150 million in kickbacks to influence World Cup selections. Today, the political leadership of the host nation is perfectly aligned with FIFA's goals of unchecked, record-breaking revenue. Instead of cleaning up FIFA, the FBI investigation pushed the organization to formalize its profiteering through legalized price gouging and political cronyism. Traditional fans treat the tournament as a shared cultural identity, a sharp contrast to the corporate audience organizers are currently recruiting. The roaring energy and long-form poetry of these supporters are the specific elements that gave the World Cup its immense global value in the first place. In 2026, those stadiums will instead be filled with passive VIPs, draining the life from the event until it becomes a sterile commercial husk of itself. The community-focused roots of the game are being paved over by sterile commercial plazas, stripping the tournament of its sporting history. Corporations can buy the rights to the matches, but they cannot manufacture the working-class spirit that makes the sport matter to the world. This leaves us with a stark outcome. 2026 is on track to be the most profitable sporting event in history, and simultaneously, its most hollow. The responsibility for this shift lies with a leadership group defined by their focus on financial extraction. The audience must decide if they will continue to support an organization that actively prices out the people who built the game. Will you still watch the tournament now that its history has been sold off? Participating as a viewer in 2026 means making a choice. You are actively financing the destruction of the beautiful game.